Motoring 2011 on TSN is brought to you by Quaker State, Real Durable Oil, and Michelin, a better way forward.
You know, GM Canada has had a presence and been at the forefront of the economy in this city since the early 1900s. And today, thousands have come here from all over North America to celebrate one of GM's most successful vehicles. They're not only celebrating the past, but also the rebirth of the Camaro.
Well, the Camaro Homecoming Weekend, it's just been an absolute blast. We've had enthusiasts from right across North America come do the pilgrimage to Oshawa where we make the Camaro. We've opened it up to the community as well. We had 5,000 to 6,000 people through the plant on a tour yesterday, and as you can see here, we've got tons of enthusiasts and the community coming to join us, so it's been an awesome weekend.
The fact that this is our 23rd year for the Ontario Camaro Nationals, and the fact that we're having the opportunity to have that here in General Motors parking lot where they actually build the 5th generation Camaro has got to be just a Camaro adventurer's dream. To be here and this day with all these cars from all the different generations, it's just overwhelming, quite frankly.
Every day is a good day in Oshawa, and some days we have great days, and then we have fantastic days. Today's a fantastic day. Here celebrating the Camaro. My wife drives a 2011 Camaro convertible, beautiful vehicle. I'm incredibly proud of the work that our auto people do here, from management to the union staff. They make the best cars in North America.
Thank you.
And Oshawa is open for business, and General Motors is a very big part of that.
It was back in 1994 when Motoring checked out General Motors plant in Sainte-Thérèse, Quebec, home to the Camaro, and then life was good. Who would have thought that in 2002 the plant would be shut down, demolished, and production of the Camaro would come to an end? Well, at least that was the plan.
That was a tough time. I mean, this car, as you can see, has huge following and passion out there in the enthusiast community, and to see it diminish to what it did and go away for a while wasn't sitting well with anybody. So to be standing here today and think in terms of what our company's been through the last couple of years, and with the support we've had from everybody we've invited out here today, we're here with this second chance to bring a new generation Camaro out and all the other great products we build. We're pretty excited about that, and we're really pleased to be able to do this.
It's amazing the outpouring of customer feedback on please bring the Camaro back. In 2002, when we went out of production at Sainte-Thérèse, emails, people would stop us in the street, when are you going to bring the Camaro back? Well, when we introduced it in January of 2006 at the North American International Auto Show at Detroit, it was the largest gathering and largest media reaction to a concept car they'd ever had at that show. We've grown it into a new generation of Camaro lover. It's just been overwhelming.
It is a very loud car. The car alarms are going off when I'm driving through the parking lot. It's a LS7 454 with a 671 blower. Horsepower, we drive it underdriven for the street. It's 10% underdriven at 640 horse. 30 over, we're a little over 900. The wife's here and all the family's into it. Parents, brother, cousins, aunts, uncles, everybody. Love the new style of the new vehicles, 100%. And probably if it wasn't for the wife tuning me up, I'd have a new one sitting in my driveway, but it's still in the cards possibly.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me the pleasure to introduce for the first time in Canada the 2012 Camaro ZL1.
I drove in a ZL1 show car. It's the new hot Camaro that's coming. It's going to be the ultimate performance and technology. Everybody that was sitting by their car came to take a look at it and hear the engine rev and that exhaust, that active exhaust note. It was fantastic. There are people that think it's just a car, but if you ask anybody here, it's not just a car, it's a dream.
It's more than just a car, it's my baby. She's taken care of, as well as they are just a part of who we are. We spend family time at car shows, our whole family. My in-law aunts and uncles are into them. They have cars, my in-laws, my parents. So it's a family, it's a lifestyle.
It's part of their lives. It's an affordable performance car. It's legendary on the race course. It's legendary at the drag strip. And it's legendary at car shows like this. And whether you have a 67 or a 2011, people want to personalize their Camaro. It's part of them. It becomes part of the family. They make us part of their Camaro life, and it makes us proud to be part of it.
A Blitz. Yeah, I love Blitz. What? Oh, Blitz. I'm sorry, Blitz. More later on Kenzie's Corner. I will have one of those blitzes, actually.
It's cute and very cuddly, but is that enough to ensure success? On this edition of Test Drive, the very huggable Fiat 500. After a brief dalliance in Canada back in the early 80s with the Strada and odd X19, Fiat packed its bags and went home. It's now returning with a modern interpretation of the car that first hit the road in 1957. This time around it's larger. The wheelbase rises by a whopping 460mm to 2300mm. Size, however, does not diminish its charm. It has as much as the original. The cabin of this Fiat 500 lives up to its cute billing. To begin with, the two-tone interior is very nice. Now, this particular model also comes with a ton of equipment: leather-covered seats, moonroof, and a decent Bose audio sound system. However, not all is hunky-dory. To begin with, the ignition key sits very close to the dash. That means that painted surface is going to get marred in a hurry. The second drawback, you don't so much sit in the seat as you sit on it. And if you ride tall in the saddle like I do, it limits headroom and it means you can't see traffic lights. This chunk of the roof section blocks them. You end up having to squint underneath to see when you've got the green light. When the original arrived, it was powered by a rear-mounted 500cc air-cooled two-cylinder that made all of 15 horsepower. Today, the 500 uses Fiat's 1.4-litre multi-air four-cylinder motor. It manages to pump out 101 horsepower and 97 pound-feet of torque. It is a smooth operator for the most part, as it displays a good deal of civility in the lower RPM range and behaves itself until it's forced to reach for redline. Then it gets noisy. The reason for the noise is quite simple. This 500 is under-engined. It takes almost 12 seconds to reach 100k and over 9 seconds to accomplish the more important 80 to 120 passing move. This thing cries out for a larger engine, or at the very least, one with a turbo. The 500 is offered with either a 5-speed manual or optional 6-speed automatic transmission, complete with a manual mode. The automatic is destined to be the more popular choice. It also features a sport button. This not only stretches out the upshift points, it firms the steering and sharpens the throttle response. The downside to the automatic, it consumes 5.7 litres per 100 kilometres on the highway. The Hyundai Accent, which features a bigger 1.6-litre engine that makes 138 horsepower, which is up 37, consumes just 4.8 litres per 100 kilometres when teamed with its automatic. Go figure. As is true of all subcompact cars, especially the two-door, the back seat is not that functional. Not much headroom, not much legroom. It starts as limited and shrinks from there. There's also very little cargo capacity. The end result? Fold the seats down and treat this thing as a two-seater. The suspension is comprised of McPherson struts up front, a twist beam in the back and anti-roll bars at both ends. The calibration is such that the 500 manages to soak up the rough sections of pavement without feeling as though it's about to fall over when pushed through a corner. Likewise, the steering, which is a little light at speed, delivers the right feedback, while the brakes deliver plenty of fade-free stopping power without feeling grabby. There's no question this Fiat 500 is as cute as a button. The problem is, well, it's more a fashion accessory than it is a serious ride, and it's destined to stay that way until such time as it gets some much needed power. The good news is, well, the power's on its way, and it's arriving in the form of a turbocharged model.
Michelin, a better way forward.
Michelin has been on the racing scene for a number of years now, and very successfully. But how does that success on the track affect the average consumer?
We learn a lot from Motorsports. Motorsports is an integral part of the company, and it is part of our marketing plans as well. But we learn about tires. We learn about how tires behave and how they also perform on the track, and also with different car manufacturers and with our teams. We take all of that knowledge back and analyze it, look through it, and then have a better understanding on how tires behave. And that understanding helps us produce and make better consumer tires at the end. Replace an engineer with every one of our technical teams. Not everyone does that, but we think it's the best approach because they then have a better understanding. Their relationship is bonded, so the drivers love having an engineer. They're confidant, they're able to talk to them and get feedback immediately from the drivers about how the tire is performing, and then able to make decisions about what's the next set of tires that will go on that car.
It's a great connection because not only do I work with the race engineers at Pratt & Miller, I work with the street car engineers at GM here at the track. They come to the track as well to see the car. One of the great examples of our tires at Le Mans was the fact that we were able to triple stint one set of tires. That triple stinting means 3 fuel loads without changing tires. The good news there with the triple stint at Le Mans is we're able to take that same technology and bring them to the street for longer lasting, better tires.
There were 4 tyre manufacturers the racing teams from the American Le Mans are able to choose from. Why have the majority gone with Michelin as a tyre of choice?
Many manufacturers talk about implementing what they learn in racing into their production vehicles, but at Corvette we actually do it. And we have a litany of things on the car, production car, that come directly from racing, not the least of which is our tire technology. Lee Willard, who designs our race tires, is the same person who designs the tire on the ZR1, the most powerful car General Motors has ever built, the fastest Corvette in history, the fastest sports car at Nürburgring, on Michelin tires. When you look at that level of technology transfer, that's what it takes to make yourself be a champion. Quality partners, technology transfer. Lee Willard, Michelin provide us with that.
We are in racing and motorsports to actually learn, and we get that by having an engineer with every one of our teams. All of that data that we get back from the tires are then analyzed, and that helps us make a better tire, which helps us win. So our primary focus in racing is to learn and then eventually help us win.
Does your city have a red light district? I bet it does. I'm the Menzoid, and I'm going to tell you where at motoringtv.com.
Having fun and getting out and enjoying these cars is really the name of the game. And yes, it's competitive. Yes, we love to, mix it up on the track. But at the end of the day, it's about having fun and getting out and enjoying these fantastic cars.
You know, this Camaro Homecoming here in Oshawa has been a 3-day event, and yesterday GM took a page from the Monty Python book and tried something completely different.
Yeah, we had a little bit of extra fun. We knew we had people coming from all across North America to this with lots of cars pre-registered. In fact, we had 780 pre-registered by June 1st. So we decided, you know what, there's a Guinness record in this, and we decided to set up the world's largest car mosaic out of Camaros. The old record, I believe, was about 485 vehicles, and we're pretty confident we topped that nicely.
Now there's a photo you're going to see in the homes of Camaro owners from coast to coast. All right, let's head to the Quaker State Garage and join Bill Gardiner.
Hey Brad, I was looking at our long-term Chevy Cruze the other day, and interestingly, under the hood here, there's a couple of icons that tell you in no uncertain terms that you're not to use a high-pressure washing wand like you'd have at the car wash, or one of those high-pressure steam cleaning machines you could buy to clean the engine bay of this car. Now, if you have a hybrid car or an electric car, there's no part of the powertrain that you should direct any water at, whether it's under pressure or not. Don't wash them, just stay away. But if you've got an internal combustion engine, which is most of the cars on the road today, we all like to keep the underhood area clean, and it is a good idea to wash those fringe areas of the car periodically. In other words, around the door openings, under the hood here, wheelhouse openings, the bottom edge of the trunk, etc., because road salt accumulates there in dirt. It becomes a catch-all for moisture, and it does accelerate corrosion. However, The problem is that if you take the lazy man's approach, which is just to stand there with that high pressure wand, could be 1500, 2500 PSI in some cases, and just blast away, you will drive moisture into places it would never normally see. It would never get into certain areas of the car. And that's when you'll have problem with the electronic side, a lot of the sensors and many of the electronic devices on the engine. Even things like EGR valves, mass airflow sensors, any of the devices on the engine are susceptible to extreme steam or extreme pressure. So you don't want to do that. If you want to clean those areas, just don't take the lazy man's approach. Take your wash bucket and your mitt and just clean those areas and just pour some water over it, low pressure, to rinse it away, and they'll be nice and clean. Now, if the engine is greasy and oily because of leaks, and that's a rarity on today's cars, but if it is, take it into a garage or a shop and have it done professionally. They'll remove those sensitive components and or protect them, and they'll do the job right. Costs you a bit of money, but it'll save you a whole lot in the long run when you don't mess up one of those expensive electronic pieces. Till next week, I'm Bill Gardiner for Motoring 2011. This is a great program, easy to comply with a great bonus when you reach 400,000 K.
We've had a great relationship with Motoring over the last 25 years, and Bill Gardiner and myself have really been hammering home the importance of maintenance of your vehicle today. Bill recently showed a truck with 400,000 kilometers on it and introduced our cash back program from Quaker State. We've been in the warranty business for 30 years with a 400,000 K 10-year limited warranty. And now with the cash back, we're going to give you money at 400,000 K for your vehicle, and you still get to drive your vehicle because you've used Quaker State, and it's obviously performing extremely well. So they're eligible to receive the Blue Book value for their vehicle when they hit the 400,000 kilometers. In the past, with our 400,000 kilometer warranty, we had set the oil change interval. But as the vehicles have progressed and technology has changed, we're now going with the vehicle manufacturer's recommendations for oil change intervals. So you simply look in your owner's manual and change your oil according to what it says in the manual. It's very cheap to maintain your car. These vehicles, as you know, are $40,000 now, and second largest investment, as I've always said, next to your home. So it's important to keep them maintained. It's very cheap insurance to keep that vehicle running and reliable and safe for your family.
Now we're here in Port Perry, Ontario for a show that I hold very dear to my heart, and that's the Brits on the Lake. There are so many beautiful British cars here for everybody to see, from Aston Martins, Austin Healey's, MGs, and in particular Jaguars. It's the 50th anniversary of their XKE.
We're here today because it's the third annual Brits on the Lake. It's a celebration of British cars. It's really a street party with beautiful hardware on the sidewalks. This event is for anybody that loves British cars. We have people here this weekend from Ottawa, Gatineau, Cornwall, Corbeil, which is way up north of North Bay, Windsor, Ontario. It's a long drive for a lot of people, but heck, they're enjoying the day, and we would invite people from those distances or even greater to come and join us. We make this into a great event.
Now everything was going swimmingly well. Everybody's having a great time, the streets were packed, and in true British fashion, the weather did not disappoint.
It's actually my second time here, but they seem to be getting a real tradition of raining all day, so it's really stunning to see this kind of turnout, considering the kind of weather conditions we get. If they ever get a sunny day here, they won't have enough space to put all the cars.
This is our second year. We came last year and it rained again today, so it hasn't been too good weather-wise, but it's a good show though.
I have an MG TD in 1952 that I restored about 5 years ago from the frame up. It's the first car I've ever done, so it worked out quite well, and it was a real education in doing so. But we weren't first in class today, so that's the first time I've ever placed first in class. So I'm very grateful for that. It was a good day. People have interest in your car that you won't find anywhere else, and you run into a lot of other restorers and rebuilders who have lots of stories to tell, and there's lots of camaraderie here. It's a good day out.
Some of them are pretty shocked to see it at first, but it's fun. Not bad.
Have you got a Canadian outfit like that as well or not?
No. I should, I should have one. That would be good, yeah.
Closed captioning of Motoring 2011 is brought to you by
Greener, fuel efficient, global. This is Chevrolet Now, driving our world forward.
favorite police department tactic these days is the blitz. They'll pick a particular type of driving behavior and attack it for over a period of time, a weekend, a few days, whatever. I get it. Part of it is a public relations campaign. They get the TV stations and the newspaper guys out there, and everybody is made more aware of this particular issue. Now, some people have a problem with the blitz they ran in my part of the country a few weekends ago, and that was against people who don't pull out of that right lane to give clearance to emergency vehicles at the side of the road. It's the only time you shouldn't be in the right lane, by the way, and I got no problem with that. If you've ever stood at the side of the road, if you got a flat tire or whatever, you feel the energy of the cars going by at 110K, man, that's powerful stuff. And police departments lose people every year. They get hit by people that don't give them enough room. Now, the law only requires you to pull into the center lane if it's an emergency vehicle with its lights flashing. You aren't obligated to pull out of the way for a tow truck, for example. But you really should. I mean, if you get stranded at the side of the road, you want that tow truck there right now, and you want to get the heck out of there. But for all the blitzes they do perform, there's one blitz that they don't perform. It's one thing to get people to get out of the right lane to the middle lane. That's where most people are anyway. I wish they'd run a blitz to get people out of the left lane into the right lane when there is no emergency vehicles. Now, is there a problem with that? Well, it would require those police officers to get into those $65,000 cruisers and actually drive. I'm Jim Kenzie.
The Camaro homecoming is continuing here in the parking lot of the GM assembly plant in Oshawa, home to the Camaro. And you know, someone once said you have to study your past to understand the present and prepare for the future. Well, believe me, there's a lot of talk here about the history of this vehicle, but just as much excitement about the present day Camaro. And looking to the future, well, believe it or not, in 6 short years, the Camaro will be celebrating its 50th anniversary. I know, where does the time go? That's it for now. We'll see you next time out as we continue to bring you more stories about cars and the people who drive them.
You know, you've got to be really careful when you start doing that, because if you look at the options list, if you start ticking boxes, you can get it up to almost 50, I would imagine. So yeah, those people need to be careful. But if you're careful, then you can keep the price down.
Motoring 2011 on TSN has been brought to you by Quaker State, real durable oil, and Michelin, a better way forward.